Flutter is a great tool when it comes to developing apps for different platforms with same code base. But this tool gets more exciting when we add Firebase to it. In this series of Flutter and Firebase Authentication, we will be creating complete sign-up and login system which will help you know about topics like validation of entered data, Cloud Firestore, FlutterToast for error, and much more. Now let's see how our app looks. You can see this is our login page with email field. I'll enter any random email. So let's say I entered a password of 4 characters, then it will show please enter a password of 6 characters. And after that, if I click on login, then you can see there is no user with this email. So let's create a new user. So you will go to this registration where you can create a user. Let's write the username as user1. Then we'll create a new Gmail address. We'll write user1. And now let's say I entered 3 characters for this password, and I also enter 3 characters here. So this will again show us that we have to enter a minimum character of 6. So let me create a password here and let me write 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, now when I click on sign up, so it will create the account for us, and what our Cloud Firestore will do is it will fetch the name of the user and also the email, and it will show as welcome back user1@gmail.com and a logout button. So this is everything that we'll be creating in this video. Just a quick tip, all the resources and timestamps are mentioned in the description, so do check them. Without any further ado, let's get started. Okay, so in part 1 of this Flutter and Firebase series, we'll be building the UI for our application. So for building the UI, this is our login screen which will have our logo and the 2 fields. So this will be the registration screen which we'll be creating, and also this will be the final home screen which we'll be creating. So without any further ado, let's get started. Let me just open up my Visual Studio Code, and here I'll click on run. I will write Flutter new project. This will ask for the directory in which I want to create a project, so I'll just click on desktop, and here I will select a project, and I will write the name of this application as email password login. Click on enter. So we just need to wait for a while for the Flutter to create the project for us. In this tutorial, we will be just focusing on building the UI, and will not integrate any dependencies or rather Firebase. So here you can see we got our project created. Here is our main.dart file, and we can just remove all of this, and we have to set our home. So before doing that, I will just go to this application and this library folder, and here I will create a new folder, and I will write the name of that folder as screens. So in our screens folder, we will have to create 3 screens. First one would be our login screen. So I'll write login screen.dart, and the second one would be a home screen, and the third one would be a registration screen. Okay, so we got our registration screen, home screen, and login screen created. Now let me just start designing our login screen first. So I will write material.dart, and here I will write stateful widget, and I will write the name of this stateful widget as login screen. Okay, I'll just click on save, and I'll close this login screen. And what next I will be doing is I'll be just opening the screenshot of login screen side by side to this coding area, so that I get a reference of what we'll be building completely. So here I guess this is the login screen UI. Yeah, so this is the login screen UI. So let me just go here and just drag it here. Okay, perfect. Here we can see we have this image, then text field, form field rather, text form field for email, and then text form field for password, then our login button, and also we have this cool section which will redirect us to our registration screen. So now let's start designing this UI. Before that, we will just also add this logo to our project. So we will be creating a new folder in our project. I'll write the name of this as asset, and in this asset we'll just go to our desktop, because on my desktop I have already saved this logo for us, so I don't have to waste too much of your time. So I'll just click, and so I'll just drag this to this. So I'll just drag the logo to our assets folder, and here we also have to just go to our pub spec file and just add the and write this. I will add the logo to our project. I will write logo.png. Just wait for a while for Flutter command to run and add the logo to our project. Till that, what we can do is we'll just remove this my home page and I will write login screen. I guess okay, login screen. So this will be our login screen. Okay, perfect. We'll just delete all this boiler code and here I can write email and password login. I don't need to do this, I'm just doing for the sake of this tutorial. And in primary fetch I will write red. Okay, so this is our main.dat file. We don't need to do anything else other than this. Now I'll go to my login screen. So this is our login screen which we need to design. We also added assets. We also added the logo to our project. Now let's start designing our application. Before designing, we need to pass some parameters. First parameter would be a form key, which will be helpful in validating the email and password field when a user click on login button. So I'll just click. I will just write final form key. Here I will write global key. This would be of form state. The next step is we need to write our editing controller. So I'll write final text editing controller, and here we will write first controller would be email controller. We'll just copy this thing and paste it here, and here in place of email we will write password controller. Okay, so we got our email editing controller done. We also got our form key done. Now the next step is to create our email field. So I'll go here and I will write this as email field. This would be final email field of type text form field. And here in the text form field, we need to first of all disable this autofocus. So I will write false, and our controller would be email controller. We will define the keyboard type for this field. It will be text input type email. Okay, and here is this option of validator, which we will be not doing in this tutorial. Okay, I guess we need to close this. And we will have this onSave function, which will be saving the value whenever a user type in our field. So I will write email controller dot text, and this would be value. Okay. Now we also need to create an input action. Input action is something when a user click on this email field, and on the right bottom side of the keyboard there will be an option of clicking next. Let me just show you text input action, and this would be a next. Okay, so we got our email field. We will be just decorating all the field also in just a while. We'll just copy, paste it here. We'll write password field. It would be the password controller. We have to remove this keyboard type, and on this input button we will write done, and here we need to write password controller dot text. So we got everything set up for a password field also. Now we can just go to our this section, and I will return a scaffold, and the scaffold will have a background color white, color dot white. Now we have our body. This would be a center widget. In the center widget we will have a children of single child scroll view. This will also have a child of, let's say, a container which will hold our logo and email field. In this controller, you can just write color. Okay, we don't need, I guess, that. And in this container, we will have our form. So like form. Our form will have a column, I guess. Let me just see. Okay, this is our form. Here we will have a column, and in this column we will have our children. First children would be email field, second would be password field for us. I'm just structuring all this. I'll just provide more values to this after I run the app on my emulator. Okay, so we got this setup. Let me just also provide the value of this key. This would be form key. Okay, so we'll just click on save and run the application for now. I'll see how this is looking. Okay, so here you can see we got our app successfully run, and here we have two fields. First field is an email field, second one is an password field. But you can see these are two simple fields with no design, no padding and nothing. So we'll just start customizing this. So I'll just go to my email field. Let me just write password here. Okay, so I'll go to my email field, and here I will create decoration for this. I will write decoration. So we'll write input decoration. So in this input decoration, we will to provide some values. Like first value would be our icon. So here you can see in this screenshot we have an icon, then our hint text, then our hint text. So we'll just write and prefix icon, and I will write icons dot mail. Okay, now the next thing is we will be also providing a padding for this. So I'll write insects from LTRB. This will be, I guess, 20, then 15, then 20, then 15. Okay, now let me just save and see our app for now. Okay, here you can see we have the icon, and now we'll be also providing our hint text. This would be hint text. This will be email. After that we have to provide the border radius. So what I can do is I will write an outline input border, and here in this outline input border we will write border radius, and then we can copy and paste that thing. Now let me just reload the application. Here you can see we got our border. So this was everything that you need to do in design part. Now we can just copy this decoration and paste it in our password field also. We'll just click on save. Okay, here you can see we have this. We can write VPN key. Now okay, so it has changed the icon also. It has changed this icon. This icon is also different. This icon is different. Now I'll just need to change the hint text. So I'll write password. Okay, here you can see password. Now we got our email field setup. We also got our password field setup. Now the next step is we have to create our button. So I will write final. This will be a login button of material type. Okay, in our password field we have to also provide this value, which is obscure text. So whenever any user enter the password, so we don't display the password of this. Let me hide this, and let's say what will happen. Let me hot reload the application. Here you can see we got our password to be here we are showing our password to the user. So I'll just write obscure text. Okay, now the next thing is we have to write this login button. We'll write an elevation of let's say 5. Then we will also provide a border radius. This will be, let's say, I guess we have copied that border radius. No. Border radius. This will be circular of value, let's say 30. Here for showing how our button look, we will also provide this login button. Okay. Now we have to provide a child. This would be material button, and here in this material button we have to write on press function first. So for this tutorial in UI building, we will not write the on press function. The next step we have to do is we have to provide a child for this. I will write text, and here I will write login. Now the next step is we have to design this button. So I will write first of all, let me just give a red accent color. So I will write colors dot red accent. Let me just save. Okay. Now I'll go to our material button, and here we have to define some properties like padding. We can copy the padding that we just went here. I'll just copy, and here I will write padding. We'll just copy and paste it, and we will go to our minimum width, and we will copy the width of our media query, or rather our root section. I like of context dot width, or rather it will be size dot width. Okay. Now the width of this would be equal to our column. Next step is we have to define this child also. We will write text align. This would be text align dot center, and after that we have to provide a style for our button. So I will write text style, and the button style would be font size, let's say 20, and the color would be colors dot white, and the last thing is our font weight. So I like font weight dot bold. Why is it showing me an error? Okay. We got our login button done. We also got our password field done, and email field done. We haven't defined this validator thing, which we'll be defining in next tutorial. When we will start coding for our Firebase authentication, then we will defining our validator for email, password, and login button. For this tutorial, we'll be just designing our UI. Now here you can see we will just return the scaffold. In our scaffold, we have to provide some other values also. So here, let's say I have this center, then single child view, then a container, and then a form. Now we need to provide some padding to this form. So I'll just wrap this with a padding, and here in this padding I will provide, let's say 36. Now let me hot reload, start the application. Okay, so we got our padding. Now the next step is we have to write main axis alignment. This will be main axis alignment dot center. Then would be cross axis alignment. This would be cross axis alignment dot center. Now we have our children. We'll write the children to be of type widget, because we'll be integrating sized box in here. Okay. Now let's call our site box, and here we will provide, let's say, a height of 200 with a child of image dot asset, and here we will write the name of our image, we'll write assets logo.png, and providing a providing a box fit for this image, I'll write fit box fit dot contain. We'll just click on save. I'll also provide a comma here. Okay, here you can see we got our image also loaded. Now the next step is we have to provide some height between this field. I'll let site box, let's say height of 45. I'll just copy and paste it in here also, paste it here also, and here also. Let me also open my login design. Here we can see we have our logo, email field, password field, login button. We just need to integrate this don't have an account sign up section. So if an user click on sign up, it will be redirected to a registration page. So we'll just create that in a while. Let me just design this thing. Just click on save. Here you can see we got some padding for we got some design. Let me just adjust this. I'll provide 25, and after password field I'll let's say 35. After password field and after a login button we'll let's say 15. I'll click on save. Okay. Here we'll create a row in which we'll have its children. And this children would be of let's say widget type. And we will also provide a main axis alignment for this row. I'll write main axis alignment dot center. Okay, and now in this children we will first children would be a text. So I will write don't have an account question mark, and then we have our gesture detector, which will detect when a user click on this gesture detector. Here we will write on tap. Let me just go and write it here, and then will be a child would be of text. I will write sign up. We'll provide some value to this child. We'll provide some value to this text. I will write text style, and here let's say I write font weight as font weight dot 400 or 600, anything that you like according to your choice. Font size would be, okay, so it will be here, font size would be let's say 15. We don't need this extra comma here. Just click on save. I can set this size as 600. Okay, cool. Rather, if you want, we can just change the design. I'll write colors dot redescent. This look nice. Okay, so we got our login screen created. We have this, we got this thing done. Okay, and we have a login button. We also have a sign up button. Now if I click on the sign up button, then what it should do, it will take us to our registration screen. Now let me just go to my registration screen, and here I will write import. I will write material, and I will create a stateful widget, and I will write this as registration screen. Now in our registration screen, now if I click on tap, what it should do for us is it will call this navigator. Now we will write push, and here we have to define a context. Then our root would be material page root. Okay, in our material page root, let me write context, and then this will redirect us to the registration. Okay, I guess then this will redirect me to the registration screen. Okay, I can write. Now let me just restart the application. And now when I click, this email field is working, this password field is working. Now when I click on the sign up button, here we are redirected to this registration screen. Now let's go to our registration screen, and here we will design our screen. So here let me just close this screenshot and open up the registration screenshot here. Okay, I'll just place this to side by side. Here what you can see, we have this image as we have designed in login. Then we have this first name, second name, email, password, confirm password, and sign up button. So before doing that, we have to create some parameters. First would be our form key. So we'll write final form key. This will be a global key of form state. Okay, now we have to define our editing controllers. So we have to write final, then this would be first name editing controller is equal to new text editing controller. Okay, so this will be our first name editing controller. We'll just copy and paste this for, let's say, second name, then our email, password, and then confirm password. So I'll write second name, and here what I can do is I can write email editing controller, then this would be password editing controller, and then this would be confirm password editing controller. Okay, now so we got our parameters. Now let's start designing our application. So we can just copy the email field that we created in our login screen rather. I'll just click on this, I'll copy here. Okay, I'll copy and paste it here. And here in place of email field, I will write first name field. This will become first name field. Here it will be first name editing controller. Just copy, put a comma here, we'll paste it here. We got our first name. Okay, so now we can copy and paste this, I guess 4 times. First name, second name, then our email, then our password, then our confirm password. So now we have to design it. So now let's say our first thing would be second name. So I will write second name field, and here in this first name editing controller we will write second name editing controller. Just press enter, we'll copy this and paste it here. For a keyboard type we can write it as name. Okay, we'll also write this for this, and here we can write second name. Okay, now we got our second name done. Now the next thing is we need to write email field. Write email. This will become email text editing controller, and here we have email already done. We'll write email. Okay, we got our email field also done. Next field is we have to write our password field. Okay, now in password field we have to write password editing controller. Keyboard type, we don't need a keyboard type for this, rather we need an obscure text, so I'll write true. Okay, and here in our confirm password I'll write, or rather just select this and I will write confirm password field, and here I will write confirm password put a comma there, just copy, just delete this keyboard type, and here we will write I guess let's say what we have to write. Okay, obscure text. I'll write true, and this will become, copy this, paste it here. As this is the last but option here, so we'll write text input action. This will be done. Now let me just save everything up, and we have to also define our scaffold. Only then we'll be able to show that to our user. We'll just go to login screen. Here we can copy this scaffold. We don't need to think much about this. Just click on copy. We'll paste it here. Now next step is we'll just write this as we don't have a sign up button for now. So we'll also remove this don't have an account section because we don't need this. We'll delete this row. Okay, now in this we have email, password, email field and password field. So we also need to copy this, paste it here, first name, second name, then email, then password, and then we have our last confirm password. So I'll write, this will become first name field, this will become second name field, this will become our email field, and then we have our password field, and after the password field we have our confirm password field. I click on save. Now let me just go to our terminal and restart the application and go to our device. Okay, so here you can see we have our device. We have this login screen with email, password, and the login button. And now let's say I click on this don't have an account, so I'll click on this sign up, and here we are directed to our registration screen. We have first name, second name, email, then the password, then the confirm password. So we have to change this value. So I'll just go here. We have this first name. Okay, first name, then we have the name type. Okay, this is okay, first name. In a name we have to change this prefix icon, so I'll just go here and I will write account circle. I guess this was the name. Yes, this will be an account circle. Just click, I'll just copy this and I will also paste it here in second name. We have email one is okay. Then we have to just change, the type here. We will write VPN key rather, VPN key, and here we have to write password, and then next thing is we have to write confirm password. I click on save. Go to my terminal, restart the app. First name, second name, email, password, confirm password. We haven't changed, I guess. Okay, VPN key. Now as you can see there are uneven distance between all of these, so I'll just go to my site. I'll go to my scaffold and here I have to change these properties. Here let's say I will change the height as 180, and then we'll change the size box. Okay, we can provide some even height here, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20. Let me just restart that. First name, second name, email, password, confirm password. Next step is we have to create our, this will be confirm password. Okay, I'll just save this. This will be password field. I'll just save this also. Here this is my email. I'll write email. This is also okay. Then we have our second name, then we have our first name here. So we got our first name, second name, email field, and confirm password here. Now what we can do is we have to write our sign up button. In our sign up button, you can just copy it from our login, because these are actually the same thing. We have to just implement them one, and the next we can, and in the next we can just copy them. Let's copy this and paste it here. In here I will write sign up button, and this will be sign up. Okay, and now on press we haven't defined anything, because we'll be defining it when we'll be integrating in Firebase. Let me just save this, and here we have to provide this sign up button. After that, we can, if you want, you can provide some height here. Let's say 10, let's say 15. Now let me save everything and hot restart my application. My app got a hot restarted. Here I have the login screen. If I click on sign up, here you can see we have the first name, second name, email, password, confirm password, and a sign up button. Other thing that you can see in our screenshot, we have this go back button, in which if I click on this go back, I can go to my login screen. So here we can go to this scaffold, and here in this scaffold we will write app bar. This will become app bar. In our app bar, we have to provide first transparency, as we have to provide this background colors as transparent. So how you can do that? We will write background color. This will be current colors or transparent. Now let me just reload the application. But now, as you can see, even after providing transparency, I have this uneven design. So what you can do, you can write elevation. I'll provide elevation as 0. I'll click on save. I'll hot restart the application. Now you can see in our app we got this removed. Now we need to provide this button here. So I'll write leading icon button. It will have an icon. Icons dot arrow back of color, let's say colors dot red. And now if I press on this button, we need to pass this navigator to our root, and our root will be our login screen. Pop. Passing this to our root. I can just restart the application. Okay, I got my app restarted. Now let's say this is the login screen, password. I click on sign up, and here you can see we have this button, and here you can see this showing me next, and in my email this is showing me these options because we have selected a type as email. This is an obscure. Okay, now if I click on next and go back, it will be redirected me to the login page. Now we can just close this also. Next thing we have to design is our home screen. Now let me just open my home screen. Okay, so I got my home screen here. This is a simple screen. You don't need to just complicate this much. I like material.dart, and here I will write state full widget. I will write home screen. And now we have to return a scaffold. And in our scaffold we will return an app bar. Let's say app bar. This will have a title. Let's say welcome. Center title. This will be true. We have to define our body. So I'll write center. Child. Child would be padding
of, let's say, edge insects all around 20. Okay, after padding, when this padding, we have to create another child which will be our column. We can define some properties, main axis, center, and the cross axis, center. Then our children, that will be our widget. This will be size box of height, let's say 180. This will have a child of image as we did in our login and registration screen. Assets.logo.png. It will have a fix of boxfit.contain. Okay. After our button, after our logo, we can remove the size to be 150. It is okay. And here we have to write text. Highlight welcome back. This is the text style. Highlight font size, let's say 20. Font weight, a bold font, bold. Okay. After that, we will have a size box with height, let's say 10. Then we will have these two values, our name with this design style, text style, color would be colors.black. I need light design. Font weight would be, let's say 600, anything that you can choose. This home screen is just the implementation of how you can retrieve the data from your Firebase database. So you can just play around this as according to your need. I click on save. We got our name. Next step, we can get our email. So I'll write email. Just copy this, paste it here. Now after this name and email thing, we have to provide our logout button. So I'll write logout. I will provide a distance, let's say 15, and here we'll write an action chip with a label, let's say text logout, and on press function of which we will be not doing in this tutorial. I guess that's all for. Okay, now let me just hot restart my application. But how my app will be redirected to this home screen, because we haven't added anything about redirection to home screen. We have added this sign up. We can go to sign in, we can go to login, but we haven't added our home screen. So for this UI design, what we can do is, if I click on this login button, I'll be redirected to the home screen. So how you can do that? We'll just go to this login, and now in our login button, we can go to this on press section, and here I will write navigator dot push. This will be context. Next would be material page root. This will also be context. And here I will write home screen. Home screen. I'll click on save. I'll just hot restart my application. I'll close this thing also, preview thing. I'll open up my device. Okay, so we got our app hot restarted. What we can do is, we can see you have this sign up. We can also go back to a login again. If I click on login, we'll be redirected to this welcome screen. Okay, we have to remove this app bar from welcome screen, I guess. Now here you can see we have this back button also. We don't need this because we have to, once a user is on to their home page, he don't need to go to a logout section. So how you can remove it? We'll go to a login, we'll go to this button, and here I will write push replacement. Then I guess everything is okay. Let me just remove this. We'll click on save. I'll hot restart the application. Here you can see we have this login, main page, sign up screen with all these fields. Here can go back to our login screen, and if I click on login, we'll be redirected to our home screen. So that's all for this part 1. In the next part, we'll be integrating Firebase and adding our validators and linking our Firebase to our application. So do subscribe the channel for not missing this email authentication. Thank you for watching.